Today in your art studio, we're going to talk about making homemade paints and dyes. Basically, the things that we end up with could either be used as watercolor paint because they're the same consistency, or they could be used to dye things like fabric or eggs. We will learn about items you can use that you just have to smush up and then use the liquid that comes out as paint. We'll learn about things that you need to add some water to liquefy it a bit, and then you can use as paint. And lastly, we'll learn about things that require some boiling water to draw out the dye properties that you can then also use as paint. So firstly, while I'm outside on this beautiful day, I want to show you a pokeberry. Pokeberries are a really common weed around here in New England anyway, and they're all along this area and my yard. And a lot of you probably have them too. So, let me show you. At this time of year, they're starting to wilt and fall down onto the ground anyway. These berries have already dried up, but these at the bottom are very useful. They will stain your fingers though, so if you're going to use them and you don't want purple fingers, you could wear gloves or be extraordinarily careful. But basically, all you have to do with these is squish them. Do not eat them. Most of the things that you can make dyes and paints from are things that you may have made a note in the past in your own mind that they stain. If they stain your fingers or your clothing, then they would make a good dye or paint. So things like berries, coffee, grass or spinach, many types of flowers and flower petals will work. Try whatever you have around. Don't limit yourself to what I show here, and have fun. Okay, so I have gathered a whole bunch of things, but first I'm going to take these 2 tea bags. They're just regular black tea. 2 is a lot for a jar this size. So I'm going to put 2 tea bags and not very much water so that I make a very strong, dark tea that'll make a good paint. I'm doing this first because I'm going to set it aside and try that later. You can do the same thing with coffee and herbal teas as well. Like if you have hibiscus tea, you'll end up with a pink paint. All right, with our tea set aside for later, I've gathered things I want to try making dye out of. And I have some water and a paintbrush so I can experiment and try things out as we go, as well as add water to things like the dirt that I brought. This is just, like, I literally went outside, dug down a little bit and scooped some garden, regular yard dirt into this container. Now remember, this lesson is about creating your own paints, but it is also about being resourceful. So I'm using the things that I have. You're going to use the things that you have. So if I'm using cupcake, I don't even know what they're called, little cupcake wax paper thingies, that doesn't mean that you have to. It just means find something similar. Do you have tinfoil? Do you have a paper plate? Do you have wax paper? Do you have something that will not absorb the things you are working, like the paint that you're making? You use what you have. I'm using what I have. All right. First, let's see. Let's do the things that we add water to. Dirt is one of those. The next one that you add water to, I have turmeric. Turmeric is a very yellowy orange spice. Another really good one that I've used in the past is curry powder, which makes a really vibrant yellow. And if you're trying to make dye that you want to dye fabric with, or Easter eggs or something like that, you want to use boiling water to soak this as well. But in terms of creating a paint for yourself, let's try with tap water. All right, next we're going to start using things that we can just squish and use the liquid from to create a paint. This is the pokeberry that you saw in the introduction to this video. It makes a very vivid purple dye. Next, we're going to try blueberries. This is because I happen to have blueberries in my refrigerator this week. Next, raspberries. I have raspberry bushes, but I've been eating them all, so there are 3. With raspberries and blackberries, each seed is inside of a little cell of fruit juice, and you want to make sure you break all of those to get the juices out, which is also your paint or dye. Let's see what happens if we mix it with our turmeric. Yellow and red, or pink, should make an orange. Ooh, we got a bit of pokeberry in there too. So I was thinking I could try for a yellow. However, the turmeric is working really nicely for that. So maybe I will mix them together and attempt for an orange. Or just pull out the orange nasturtium flowers and put the yellow aside. Okay, the final dye will be spinach. Please know that you could do the same thing with grass. Wander outside, grab a few handfuls of grass, knowing that if you were to fall and skin your knees with pants, your pants, the knees of your pants, will have a grass stain. This is utilizing that fact to create a paint or dye. So more spinach would create more of this paint, but this is very nice. Nice green. Again, going directly into the egg carton. All right, and to wrap it up, we're going to try out the dye from the tea. And then put the others into the egg carton too.
So this is black tea. So tea at this potency. It's definitely making a tan brown color. Not as dark as I would like. So I will do this again with, I'd say, a 1/4 cup of boiling water with 4 tea bags or more. All right, and brown from dirt. This is the most simple one. If you're unsure of what to do and you feel like you don't have the right supplies around, go outside, dig a tiny hole, get a couple of spoonsful of dirt, add water and stir. Have fun!